about 70 to 80% of them are elderly. And parking there is imperative for them, and being able to load and unload people there is very, very important. You have the laundromat there on the block. People can drive up, they can take their laundry, they can take it in. If parking's not there, they can't do it.
Number one, the city has not done its due diligence on informing the public. For example, there was no proper notice to the impacted businesses and property owners on Greenwood, and there was no mention of parking removal. There appears to be no law that requires new bike lanes to be installed because of new or reconstruction, if it would be contrary to public safety. We see this plan as contrary to public safety. It puts the burden on the elderly, disabled people in wheelchairs, walkers, and canes by taking our parking away, especially in our winter months. It also impacts low-income families.
A lot of my clients have aged with me. They really appreciate being able to park out front. Some of them use walkers. Even though we have a parking lot in the back, it's a long walk for them to park in the back parking lot, walk through the building and get to where my spot is in the building. So that's really my main concern. I agree with the gentleman that spoke earlier about the speed limit on Greenwood. Nobody goes 20 miles an hour.
It would be better to hear issues people might have from a public meeting rather than criticism of the part of the day. Cascade Director was not the only business affected. I would suggest best solution at this point is to cancel your current plans. I know that's not easy. Rethink the options and talk more to the businesses.
The whole idea of reducing the number of lanes from 4 to 2 struck me as odd, considering it was such a busy thoroughfare. I wondered two things. The traffic is so busy there, putting in some speed bumps might be pretty nice to slow down the traffic. A heck of a lot less expensive than remodeling the whole dang thing and basically ruining some businesses right there. The other point I wanted to make was this idea of going from 4 to 2 in this particular spot. I was curious if you had referenced any models from other towns that had done exactly the same thing in a very similar situation with specific businesses that are tuned into mature patrons. And if so, what was the success? Did the city council think, hey, this is a great idea? Did the patrons all say, wow, it's a great idea, I'm so glad you did this? And if so, I would love to see the reference on that.
And so, if you recall, that was built and opened in mid-August. We had a quarterly data publishment on our website, committed to come back to council at the halfway point to share this information. From mid-August to the end of January, roughly a 6-month window, we've collected just under 1,600 responses. Collecting public data can be interpreted and put together in many ways. We put these in large buckets. The first was a general question: how well do you think the design is working for you? So whether you're a bike commuter, a car commuter, a walker, it doesn't really matter. How do you think the corridor is working for you? As of January 31st, we had a 63% negative response saying they didn't think the corridor is working well for them. About 46% of respondents is basically saying it takes me longer to get through there, regardless of the time, peak hour or 8 or 9 p.m. 650 comments saying it's too congested, too much traffic on a smaller space, so they didn't like that. A little over 500, just a general disapproval, not like going from a 4-lane to a 3-lane section. Another focused on impacts to parking and businesses along the corridor.